Luigi's Mansion is easily one of my favorite GameCube games. It was a different kind of game, defined by atmosphere and exploration, rather than second-to-second platforming action. The classic horror setting, an abandoned mansion full of spooky ghosts and paintings in Marios. It's also one of the best Scrooge McDuck simulators ever created. You are just constantly rolling in comically large amounts of nondescript gold coins in this game, and at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. I've spoken about a number of Luigi's Mansion ROM hacks in the past, and they've been quite impressive. The fan game scene for this game has been a bit of a late bloomer, but at least it has been picking up steam. Today's topic, however, is an entirely original ground-up title. I think if there's one recurring theme in this particular marathon, it's games that are not yet finished but show a lot of promise. I've spoken about a number of titles that are still in development and already demonstrate huge potential, and the latest of those is Luigi's Mansion 2D Eternal Night, a 2D recreation of Luigi's Mansion. Although it is in many ways attempting to recreate Luigi's Mansion in the second dimension, I wouldn't call this a demake because the actual game has far more to it than just that. This is a tight, sprawling Metroid-style 2D platformer where you play as the Luigi himself. The first thing you notice about pretty much any video game you play is gonna be the graphics. Luigi's Mansion 2D very faithfully recreates the dark and dreary atmosphere of Luigi's Mansion, but with wonderfully detailed pixel art. The beam of your flashlight illuminating darker areas, the rain that just refuses to let up for even a second, the little puffs of dust of your feet stepping across the long abandoned floors of the mansion, the blur effect on some of the ghosts as they move through the air, the haunting backgrounds of a never-ending night of terrors. Areas are all unique and distinct from each other. Tons of world-building details are added to give it that extra flair, like these crows that fly away when you get close to them. Ghosts fade in and out of existence, and their designs are replicated in 2D quite faithfully. On top of the ghosts you remember from the first game, there are also other ones like this piranha plant boss fight and these Shy Guy Grim Reapers. These guys are badass. I must confess that I don't remember if any of these are from the sequels or largely original, but at least in the context of a 2D recreation, it feels new. The sprite work also looks very good, with animations being surprisingly smooth and detailed, looking almost like they could be official. A lot of references and tributes are hidden all over this game, ranging from subtle things you might not notice to very blatant things that you probably will. You got a blurry ass painting of Miyamoto on the wall, there are these freaky Waluigi zombies in the sewers, and right when you think you've seen it all, they bring out Mauser from Super Mario Bros. 2. I don't know what I was expecting, but what a great thing to see. I love that guy. They also got some music from Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I don't know why, but somehow it actually fits very well. One of the things that's so impressive about this game is how naturally and authentically it recaptures the spirit of Luigi's Mansion. Although the game is entirely in 2D, the gameplay loop has been very faithfully recreated. You enter a dark room, start cleaning up all the ghosts, get a key that unlocks some other room somewhere else, go over there and do it again, all while vacuuming literally every single set piece, no matter how insignificant it may look, and watching it explode into a burst of gold and jewels. Just like in the original game, there are a ton of secret ghosts and collectibles that I'm gonna miss every single time because I forgot they existed. I didn't see any gold mice in this game, but we all know that doesn't necessarily mean they're not there. The RNG on gold mice was beyond absurd in the original game, so it wouldn't surprise me if they were in the game and I just never saw them. The actual gameplay itself of vacuuming up ghosts after stunning them with your flashlight takes some time to get used to. I played this on a keyboard, which wasn't too distracting when I got the hang of it, but the actual mechanics can sometimes feel a bit tricky to coordinate in the heat of the moment. But you can figure it out with a little bit of effort. On the other hand, some ghosts have entirely new puzzles to solve to catch them, like the piranha plant ghost where you need to shoot a bomb at him, which yeah, you can do that in this game. And then you start vacuuming him as though you're plucking him out of the ground. except he's shooting fireballs at you that kick your ass. And then there's this guy, where you stun him by luring him into punching a wall and busting his hand open. There are also a couple of new environmental puzzles and collectibles as well, with my favorites being anything that involves blowing up bricks. Look at this, I got a permanent health upgrade. If only that was in the original game. Difficulty-wise, after you get used to the controls, the game is pretty straightforward, although some enemies are a little bit tricky to get the hang of, but it doesn't feel broken or unpolished. More so just different. There is a learning curve, but it's not very steep. Overall, it's an easy game to get into, and if you're already familiar with the original game, you should feel right at home after a couple of minutes. As the game is right now, the first 2 acts are completed with a demo for the 3rd act currently available. Sometime down the road, the full version will be available, but for the time being, this is already a very serviceable piece of work. Its embrace of the spirit of Luigi's Mansion is far more than surface level, and really makes you feel like Luigi's Mansion, and I would definitely revisit it in the future. Now, tomorrow's video, if it does come out tomorrow, is currently a mystery, even to me. But the answers will all be revealed in due time. But until then, thank you so much for watching my video.